Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel, The Painted South. My name is Deborah, and in today's video we are going to be painting a lot of pumpkins, and we're also going to be creating 2 DIY planter fillers for the front porch autumn decor. But before I get started on those projects, I wanted to gather some of these plants that I propagated to take to a really sweet lady that works at a local thrift store. She loves plants, but she also helps out by potting them and selling them at the thrift store. I definitely have plenty of plants to share and donate, so I took a few minutes to do that this morning. This is our back porch and it's kind of a mess, but as you can see, I have a ton of plants back here. Some I'm going to be donating, and the rest of them are going to come inside in the next few weeks or so. This dresser was a Facebook Marketplace find. It definitely needs painted, but I do love the handles, and even though the paint is rough, it does add some texture for me to start off with, and I think that their little girl used it as a sketch pad, but it's a solid piece and it definitely has tons of potential. The plants are doing so well back here on the porch, it would be really wonderful to turn this into a sunroom one day and add some beautiful tile on the floor. This metal wall art was in the living room for quite a while, but I think it looks much better back here on the porch. Okay, so I've been looking online for some inspiration, and I have been seeing the most beautiful autumn planters and came across these fillers that just fit down inside of your existing urns or porch planters, and that inspired me to create my own version for our front porch. Alright, I have decided for my fall urns, I'm going to use these Christmas wreaths as a base. Now, I know they have a lot of flocking on them. My husband has allergies, and it does bother me too a little bit. Not as bad as him, but we are trying to eliminate a lot of things that have this flocking on them. It's just, I don't know what it is. He calls it Christmas dust, but every year I get everything out and he starts sneezing, and so I think I'm going to clip off these pine cones. I will put other ones on. These don't have as much flocking. But I'm going to take them out of the bags, take them into the yard, and basically I might clip some of the really heavy flocked pieces, or I may just leave that on for texture. And I got this spray paint. I got this at Walmart. Matte Coffee Bean. All-in-one paint primer. It's super dark brown, so I'm going to try it just to give a good dark base to put the rest of my flowers in. It has this kind of back, so we'll see if the paint sort of seals some of that in, but like I said, I am going to remove some of these very heavily frosted pieces, and then we'll spray paint these, and that will be our base. Okay, here goes. Let's see if we can repurpose these. If not, maybe for Christmas outside. Let's give this paint a go. So that is one coat. I think it covered it pretty well. I can still get down in there. Need to sort of move some of the wires around. And just have to spray that one. Well, I think they look pretty good. I will need to do probably another coat. Whatever's left in this can is all I'm going to do. So while those are drying, and since I already have paint on my hands, let's go upstairs and paint those pumpkins. All right, so the first two pumpkins that I'm going to be painting, I had already previously painted in a white, heavily textured finish, but I really wanted to warm them up a bit. I love French country colors. I think that they look beautiful in every season, and so I thought I would add those colors onto a few of the pumpkins that I already have on hand. I do realize that a lot of our devices have different screen settings, and that can affect the way the colors might be coming across, especially because of my workspace lighting. I will have footage at the end of the video in natural lighting, so I hope that helps show the true colors. If you've watched any of my other painting videos, you know I like to layer my paint. Sometimes I will layer all the paint in just different shades of the same color, and sometimes they will be more contrasting. A lot of us have these very bright orange and yellow speckled pumpkins from Hobby Lobby. I already had a few, but last year at the end of the season when everything went on clearance, I purchased a lot more so that I could have fun painting them. I gave two of these pumpkins a base coat in a textured gray paint that I had left over from another project. And then I painted two of them in an orange color that I also had left over. Now the orange paint that I had left over didn't have the texture mixed in the paint already. I used stucco patch or sand or different things like that. So all I did was take a sponge and dab it a little bit, and it created the texture right on the surface. Now, I love the shape of these little cuties. They're also from Hobby Lobby, but the colors are a little bit too bright for my decor. So we're going to tone them down with layers of textured earthy reds. For these pumpkins, I added a custom turquoise mix over the gray paint. and then I added a barn red over the orange. I remembered that I had purchased these little purple pumpkins. I wanted to keep them in a similar tone, but I wanted to give them a softer looking finish, something with a very subtle texture. Okay, I like to share my process because sometimes it doesn't go as planned. I thought I might go for a very rustic look on some of these pumpkins, and I tried to add cinnamon. And that just wasn't turning out so well. And so then I thought I would add some super thick black chalk paint that I had mixed with baking soda for sort of a crusty layer. So while those were drying, I decided that I would layer the turquoise pumpkins with some moss green chalk paint, and then I ended up adding two more layers just with very subtle highlights, sort of a creamy light green, and then I mixed a little bit of yellow into that same color and added that as well. I decided to add a brighter orange over the rustic colors on these two pumpkins. A lot of times I like to take everything outside to do a clear matte top coat, It makes things a lot easier, but I really wanted to use wax on these pumpkins to really enhance the color. And also, I was working inside a lot of time at night, so it's easier just to use wax. Plus, it gives a beautiful finish. So the first thing I did was add a clear wax on all of the pumpkins. And I really focused on the raised areas. I started off using a shop cloth on a few of these to add the wax, and then I switched to an old angled brush. It made it a lot easier. And I also wanted to mention I didn't get any footage of this, but I did add a little bit of paint to all of the stems. Okay, so not all dark waxes are created equal. This Magnolia Home dark wax is a dark brown, but it's almost black. That's how dark it is, which is perfect for a very aged look. Now, while I really like the effect that this Magnolia Home dark wax offers, I decided to get my Minwax dark wax, which is a little bit more brown. It's a lot easier to spread, and I decided to use that in addition to the Magnolia Home dark wax, and I mainly put that super dark wax down in the creases and crevices to create a very dimensional finish. I really love how the combination of those two dark waxes transformed all of the paint finishes on these pumpkins. Alright, so to create our urn fillers, I'm going to be placing this plastic pot down inside of the wreath that I have set on top of the urn. I added some packing paper and a piece of scrap wood to fill the bottom, and then I placed a Walmart bag over the top of the planter. If you can't find floral foam the size that you need for your container, do like I did and just go buy some spray foam at Walmart. Each can was right around $5, so it was only $10 to create both of these bases for our urn planter fillers. This stuff can get very messy, so I would wear some old clothes and maybe even some gloves. And if you overfill it, you can always just trim it off after it dries because it is going to expand a little bit. All right, I let these dry overnight. I think they're still a little soft in the middle. I press right there. They might still need to cure out a little bit. But as you can see, this will lift right off, and then I may put something in there to weight it down a little bit, but since it's going in another urn, I don't need to. So we made our foam that fits right in there for about $5. I may need to let the air get to these. I wanted to show you, this one is not coming off as well. I think it was a lot thicker, so that still needs to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this off. And it took the writing off of the Walmart bag. I'm going to get the rest of this off here and just let it dry. The sun will be up soon enough and they should harden pretty quickly. I actually love the texture of this painted wreath. Now I did miss a few spots, but you won't see it after I add all of the greenery. And I really think that that dark brown color is a beautiful contrast to the urn beneath it. The foam dried very thoroughly, and now it looks like some yummy ice cream. Now in hindsight, I should have painted the foam on top in a dark green or maybe a brown, but lesson learned, and I'll do that the next time. It's kind of hard to tell on the video, but the painted flocking almost looks like feathers. Alright, so the first piece that I decided to use was this beautiful garland from Hobby Lobby. I know a lot of us have this in our stash. It's a very versatile piece of greenery, and the colors work really well with all of the other things that I'm using in the arrangement. I only have 2 of these beautiful hanging bushes with very subtle oranges and yellows, so I decided to use 1 in each planter on the outside edge. In the very center, I used a variety of tall grasses. I personally feel like it's not good to judge your arrangement until it is filled in because, in my opinion, the more you add, the better it looks. I like to add as many different stems as I can. I like to have different textures and shapes and colors, and I also like to vary the height of each one as you fill in the arrangement. All of these things that I'm showing you now were used in the arrangement. Now some of them were cut and separated so that I could use each one as a single stem and distribute them around the arrangement. A lot of these came from Hobby Lobby, of course, and then you might recognize some of them from a recent shopping haul that I shared from Carolina Pottery. Alright, so let's see how my version of an autumn urn planter filler turned out. I did add a small pumpkin, one that I didn't paint, because the size and colors worked perfectly with the colors that I used in the arrangement. I love all of these colors, especially for this time of the year. It is still very warm here in South Carolina, and I didn't want to go too dark and heavy just yet. I can always tuck in or replace a few stems as we get later on in the season, or I could even change that yellow pumpkin out for a very deep rusty orange one as we progress through this amazing autumn season. Well, I really love how everything turned out. I love how the urn filler turned out, and I really love how all of these painted pumpkins turned out. I would love to hear your opinion in the comments below, as always. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope it gives you some inspiration to add your own creative touch to your home decor for this wonderful autumn season. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending some of your time with me today. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to like, leave a comment, share the video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you are enjoying the start of this autumn season. I hope you are enjoying decorating, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. So until then, bye for now.